Hey good people, how you doing? Hope you're doing great. Another day that God has given us. I'm sorry, I'm not feeling well. My voice is not really in shape, if I can put it like that. But I have to do this video today because I promised you yesterday that I have to do this video. So I have to upload it as early as today. I want us to cover the 5 business ideas that you're not supposed to engage yourself in as a first timer. You're having your small budget of $200 to start importing and doing business, budget of $500 and all the way up. These are not the best business.
Over the edge, feel like I'm floating through the air. The pain I felt is paid for, all is said and done.
Furnitures can be very cheap even if you check them on Alibaba. An office table, a couch for your house, name them. They can be very beautiful and very cheap. What people forget that the shipping cost is very high for furnitures. Anything that is bulky, and furnitures are bulky. Most of us that are using consolidation and courier service to ship things by sea or even by air, it's going to cost you so much. An item could be going at $100, an item that probably locally it's being sold at $600 in your local supermarkets and all that. Then you go to Alibaba and check and see that it is being sold at $100 and get tempted to import it. Whatever you don't know is that the shipping cost could even end up costing you times 5 of that amount that you bought that specific item because it's big, right? Another commodity or another group of things that you're not supposed to engage yourself in as a first timer is home appliances. I don't know whether that is the best word to use, but when I speak of home appliances, I mean things like refrigerators, things like washing machine, things like dishwashers, anything that is bulky. Always think twice before you import it. Mainly something that is bulky, something that is heavy, because there are things that are big but very light. There's something that is very heavy but very small. But if something is bulky and heavy at the same time, please consider twice. Sometimes a business like home appliances favors the company that it's a distributor company in your home country, or maybe a big business person who still can afford to load a full container of it. Let me give you an example how you're supposed to reason out before you settle for such things. Think of you that you're thinking of importing home appliances like a refrigerator. A refrigerator can go for at least 2 cubic meter, a big one, 2 CBM. Right now we are being charged around $600 per CBM to ship an item. If a refrigerator goes for 2 CBM, that means it's 600 times 2, a total of 1,200 CBM. That is the shipping cost only, not the buying price. Now, if the buying price of the refrigerator was $300, you do the $300 plus the shipping cost, which we have seen an average of $1,200, then you calculate and say, is it worth importing this item? And if I import it as a business person, if I'll be getting this item at $1,500, how much will I be able to sell it? Will I be able to make any profits? How is this item being sold locally? The local dealers and the local distributors, you might find them selling the commodity, the item that you received at $1,500. Probably at your local supermarket, it's being sold at $1,300. Yet you yourself with $1,500, you haven't added your profits. You haven't added your profits. So that means it might be very hard for you to make profits out of such things. The next is utensils. I know most of you are aspiring to start selling utensils. You want to start doing your utensils business. The pans, the souffleurs, I don't know how they are called in English. All those things. Kitchen utensils, the cups and all that. But now this is the thing about kitchen utensils. Kitchen utensils are very cheap. very cheap. Most utensils are bulky, very, very bulky. So you might find them going at a very cheap price on Alibaba. Get tempted to get yourself in that business as a first timer, but forgetting that that business will favor a person who is loading a full container of the items. Not you that you're trying to start business. Not you and me that we are doing consolidation, courier service. It's going to cost you a lot of money to import a whole pack of utensils. The shipping cost will be very high. So be cautious on that, and please check on that before you get yourself into that business. Another key thing is building materials. When I talk of building materials, I want to specify on the bulky building materials. At this point, my mic stopped working, but when we talk of building materials, think of things like the MDFs, the doors, the roofing, sinks, bathtubs and all that. These are very bulky things, and they might end up costing you a lot of money when it comes to the shipping cost. And most of the time, if not all the time, they favor a person who is loading a full container of the products, okay? Last but not the least, cheap commodities, cheap items. I know some of you would want to think that I want to be able to import something that people can afford to buy. Things are thick, that is what you think. Things are thick. I need things like undergarments. I need things like, I need things like diapers. I want to get myself into things like printing papers and all that. Anything that is cheap in your local town or in your country, locally available, and it's very cheap. Even clothes are in that category. Think of as the last option to get yourself into. And when you're doing business and when you're getting yourself a business idea, stop thinking of your situation. Like if you think that things are hard, because that is what most of my students tell me. If you think that things are hard, they are not hard for everyone. Always know that. That is what business taught me. If I think that I cannot be able to afford a pair of sneakers going for $200, there are so many people out there that can be able to buy a sneaker worth $200. That is what business taught me. Most of the time, those cheap things favor a person who is producing them, a company in production of that specific thing. If not so, a person who can be able to get them in bulk, in thousands, from the producing companies in China. Again, they favor a person who is producing that specific item in your country. If not so, they favor a person who can get in the specific item in bulk. You as a small business person, if you try to get yourself into that business, you're not going to be able to be competitive. You're not going to compete in the market when it comes to the prices. Maybe as the shoes, they call them, the ladies' shoes, that they call them doll shoes, that go for like $4 or $3 locally in my country, Kenya. You find those pair of shoes favor a person who is getting like 10,000 of those shoes, where they get them at probably less than $1. So that when they include the shipping cost, it can be able to cater for its own shipping cost and the buying price, and still the person who is selling them can be able to get a good profit out of the $4 or $3 that person is selling that shoe to you. They can be able to make a good profit margin of probably ×2 or ×3. So most of the time you find a person who is doing like a full container of those specific things makes a lot of money. Things like printing papers. Please don't try to get yourself into things like printing papers if you're trying to do business. I know it's a good business idea, but it's not good for a first timer. Again, as I wind up and as we clear the whole topic of the things that you're supposed to engage yourself in as a first timer, always know that something that is heavy and bulky at the same time It's not something that you're supposed to get yourself into. You'll note that in this topic, I've covered things that are heavy and bulky. The volume is big and they are heavy at the same time. Do you know why I'm saying so? If you ship your things by air, they are only going to concentrate on the kgs and not how bulky the item is. If you ship your things by sea, they're going to concentrate on how bulky your item is and not how heavy it is. So if an item, there is no way out, it is bulky and heavy at the same time, there is no way out. You're supposed to leave that commodity to a person who can be able to load a full container of that specific item. You get it? Unless the item that you're trying to ship, it's something that can cater for its shipping cost, high shipping cost, buying price, and get you a very good profit margin. Because we have items of that kind. Things like medical equipment. It could be bulky and heavy, but it is going for millions. And probably locally, the difference between how you're getting it at and that it is being sold at, it is in millions. So you have enough to make some good profit margin out of that specific business. So be cautious on that. And any cargo that you're going to get from China that you want to start your business with, always calculate the actual cost of that item. That means you must always know, how much am I getting this item at? How much is it going to get to me at? That is the actual cost of an item. The actual cost of an item, it's not how an item is being sold on Alibaba. No. It's how you're getting it at in your country. If you'd want to join our 7 days import class, the link is on our description box. I'm going to put it right there. I charge $25 only to get a whole 7 days course and learn how to do your imports, either from Alibaba or from suppliers in China. I have a bunch of suppliers that I've prepared for you from the trip that I did just the other day. More than 300 suppliers. So there's another specific group that is called Just Ray 7 days trip to China, and you're going to get them. You can pay for that if you do want. I only charge $250 only. With that said and done, let me leave you in peace. See you another day. God bless you. Watch the videos. Tell me what you'd want me to talk about, or what I mentioned but you didn't clearly understand. Please let me know on the comment section. Subscribe. God bless you.
Over the edge, feel like I'm floating through the air. The pain I felt is paid for, all is said and done.